Well, this is Boruch, and you're really hearing, coming from my past, one of the great of all times, Breath of Chossid, uh, Adi Ran. Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous music, stuff that really gets me going. I want to say that right now, we're in the Parshas Vayetze, and we're in the month of Kislev. If you know anything about the cycles of the months, so we're talking about when we say Kislev, we're talking about the moon cycle. The moon cycle is different than the sun cycle, but the basic rays that we're talking about are really very similar. So what happens is that Kislev is ruled by a planet. It is the energy that comes from it is coming from the planet which we call Jupiter, which is the greatest, biggest planet. This is a time of tremendous expansion. So this is also called in English, it's called Sagittarius. So this time is for me. I have my moon is in Sagittarius. This is the month of the moon in Sagittarius. This is a great time for me. So my injuries that I suffered during my cheshvan, which cheshvan is always very, very difficult time for me, have changed over, and now I'm looking forward to what's going to be on the other side at the end of this month and this cycle is going to be Hanukkah, which is a light in the darkness, the concept of bringing the light of Hashem into darkness. And then moving into the beginning of Tevis, which is Capricorn. Capricorn's a totally different story. It's a deep, deep dark of winter. So this is where the ruling planet here is Saturn. It's a Saturnian sign. Saturn, both unusually Capricorn, which is generally speaking, let's say the end of December, January, moving into Aquarius, which is also ruled by Saturn. So these are the 2 months, which is January until the middle, let's say the end of February. So these are the winter months, the main winter months that we're coming to right now. And my teachers have always said that in regards to astrology, that the time of Capricorn and Aquarius, because of the light in the darkness concept, seeking the light, so that you have, this is the time of year that we're coming to. I don't know what's going to be like for me emotionally, because I'm not an emotional guy, and exactly what I'm going to have there. So let me see what I have to do. And we're kind of coming over here now. This is a piece of Torah which is really important. And it goes in different ways, in ways that we can't necessarily uh, just grasp real quickly. So this is the Seder Rashash. It's on the Birchas Avos. What's going on? That's excuse me. It's not the Seder Rashash. This is the Tiva Kavanos, which is really a pirush on the Shara Kavanos of the Rav. Because the Shara Kavanos, super, super important for those of us who are interested in Sod, but also not easily understood or worked with. One of the things about studying Sod is the Hebrew itself that is used is very simple Hebrew. These are people that, have a good concept of the flow of Hebrew grammar. So everything works very easy. The problem is that it has all different kinds of words and concepts that are like doors that suddenly appear in front of us, and we know there's light behind them, but behind every other door is a bunch of other doors. All of these are contained in the language. The language, like we had before the inquiry that talked about what is Zeranpin. Well, you have to understand. You get into some place and start with someone to understand some concepts of what's going on in Zeranpin. So what we're doing, we're just getting into the river. That is the river of the Sod. We're just going to start swimming along. So let's come over here and get back to this is the Birchos of the Avos, the Birchos Avos. What's going on? The Birchos Avos is probably the most important part of the Shemona Esrei. It is the most important part. So first we started talking about the fact that when you say Adnis Fasai Tiftach, it really is referring over there to the movement of our souls up into Atzilus. And this Adnis Fasai Tiftach is like the interface between the Olam Abriya, which we have been building to, and this is all the concept that we have to have as we're praying where we are in the prayers. What are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish with our souls? What do we want to be able to do? These are these are instructions on how to pray. So let's get so first we had that idea, and then we moved along. When you start to say the birchas of thanks, ein bo rak kriya achad v'tzikipa achad. And what he had mentioned was, and I think there's a piece down here I may have to look for. I may have to stop and look for it because I'm a little bit off on this. He says that when they say the Birchas Avos, there are also two times that you bow your head down and two times that you lift your head up. It's not the head, maybe I said it wrong. It says at first you bow down your body, then you bow down the head, and it all goes according to different kavanas that we have, according to the words that we are using. But he says when you start the Birchas Hadoah, there's only one over there. Now, I don't know what he means by Birchas Hadoah yet. Bikulam gufa gachin legabi bircha, because in all of those, the body bows down towards the knees. So Vav Lagabi Hey. Now we have to get into this with the Matik of the Vash because I don't really have it yet. Beresha Gachin Lagabi Gufa. So then you have two different things. One is the body bows down or bends itself down towards the body, towards the lower part of the body, and then the head bows down towards the body itself. Yud the Gabi K. So this would be the same thing if you had a Yud K Vav K. It would be the same thing as taking the Yud, bringing it to the first K. V'zaki. So that's the way that would go. V'zaki Birchav the Gabi Gufa. Then he raises up the lower part that is his knees, I guess, from the place that he's bowing or bending your knees. The Gabi Gufa up towards the body. So Hey the Gabi Vav. So this is like the Hey moving up to the Vav. The gufa legabe resha, and so therefore the gufa is going to be going towards the head. So everything we have two movements. So hey legabe yud, which is the same thing as the second hey of the name of Havayah. Now don't panic here. We're going to read the Tivuk Avanos, and the Tivuk Avanos is going to help us out tremendously. So listen, if we first decide the Birchas Hadoah, lo yesh bo asham baruch below Hashem. There is no baruch ato Hashem. Now here, when he says Hadoah, now I know I remember now. He's talking about Modim. Now we're pointing out four different places where the bowings and the standing back up come to play. One is in Birchus Avos, when we first start talking Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu ve'Elokei Avotenu, that part. And then there's another place where it says Baruch Ato Hashem Ogein Avraham. Each of those have two going downs and two going ups. But when you come to Modim, Modim is also a place, and also that's important to understand that the first time we're bowing because we're bringing Chochmah in. The second time we're bowing, we're going into the concept of Bina. We're going to see all of this in detail. The third time when we come to Modim, we're going to come, there is going to be Zer Anpin, the entrance of the Mochim coming from Zer Anpin, or coming to Zer, I'm not sure exactly, so we'll see how that goes. And then the final one is after Hakol, we have the final bracha, which refers to bringing in the Nukva of Zer Anpin. Now, when I say bringing in, I need to learn this myself. So we understand that when you're bowing down, so vav the gabe hey. So you're taking the vav and you're bowing it down towards the lower hey. Vasakifa he the gabe vav bilvad. Now the zakifa though is only towards the vav. So therefore we have to lachzor to go back. Lasos kriya shnia to do it a second time. Vasakifa shnia. But Modim the Rabbanan, when we do the Modim the Rabbanan. Now this is what the Rab is saying. This is not what we practice. The Hori Yud Lagabe Hey, this Guf Hey Lagabe Yud. So he says like this, is that when we come to Modim, we have to make up for the fact with Modim, we're only going to do it one time. So let me see, Modim, the Rabbanan, the Hori. So therefore in the Modim, we're only going to do it one time. We're going to go down one time and go up one time. So therefore, since we need two times, which he hasn't explained why you need two times, but he says you need two times. So he said, Lohored Yud the Gabi Hey, with the Sluf Hey the Gabi Yud. So therefore, we're going to bring the Hey, the Yud towards the first Hey, and then also raise up the Hey, which is on the bottom, or the Hey, which is, I guess it's the second Hey, up to the Yud. So let's see what exactly we could get in the way of help to try to understand what it is that the typical bonus is saying here. So we're going to start here on Nun base. That is, when I said the typical bonus, I meant the Shire Gabanis is saying. So let's read just a tip. So that's what they call Hodoya. Ein bo shtei kriyos v'zekifos rak kriya v'zekifa achas. Only one time you do. Now he's going to say someplace. I don't know if it's here, and I maybe have to look for it. Maybe it's over here. I don't know, but we don't do this. Do it like this. We actually do both of them in Modim. Since Modim, the problem is with Modim is a Modim doesn't have a bracha in the middle of it, and it doesn't have a Yud Kei Vav Kei in it. So therefore, we're saying like this: on Baruch you go down, on Yud Kei Vav Kei you start coming up. Well, what if they're not there? So then what do? So he says, well, then you only do one time down, one time up. These are the words of the Rav. However, the Rishash and the Rishash Siddur and the way that it actually comes out in practice is that we do both of them with Modim. We do both the Zekifa Rishona, Zekifa, not either the Kriya Rishona and the Kriya Shneya. And we also do the Zekifa Rishona and the Zekifa Shneya. So this is how it actually is in practice. But let's read what the Rav says. That's the most important thing. Number 9, Gimel. So that one there became Baruch Atah B'Barach de Mogen Abraham, became Baruch Atah Havayah de Shemachol. So all of those you could see there's a Baruch and there's a Havayah there. So it's easy to see how you can work your double bowings and your double rising ups. So he said the first thing is that we have the Vav going to the K. And the first thing is, and he's telling you practically, and this I actually practice this, and so many people also do, is that when you first say Baruch, you bow your body down. So he said, but not move, but you keep your head straight with your body. Who sewed the vav legabe hay, because the idea of the body in Kabbalah is the idea of Zeranpin. There you go, Zeranpin again. 6 kitzvos. He's a vav. So this is the concept of the vav is going to bow itself down, which is Zeranpin in the body. It's going to bow itself to the Hey Achrona, which is Malchus. And that's how that process goes. Shachaguf Korea Kalafe Habirkayim, because what it is that the body starts to bow towards the knees. Going on. Acha Kriyas Aguf, Korim Arosh Klape Aguf. So then after you do that, though, there's going to be another Kriya, and now you're going to bring the head down towards the body. So Yud the Gabe K. So this is the Kabbalah that we're doing when we're bowing our head. Yud K the Havayah ain't connected the Rosh, because the Yud K, the first 2 letters of the Havayah, they correspond to the head. And the idea is to bring the Mochim. The Mochim are what? Yud stands for the Moach of Chochmah. K stands for the Moach of Bina. El Haguf Shehu Zer Anpin, to the body, which is Zer Anpin. In other words, bringing the higher level, which is the head, into the body. Kadei Shehu Yam Shecha Arazu El Malchus, in order to be able to bring this to Malchus. Now I'm going to go on, even though this year is running a little bit long, which I'd like to stop it here, but I feel like I have to get this second half in. Now you're going to start bringing yourself up. This is when we're turning it around when you say the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. So the first thing is we bring the knees, that we unbend ourselves, and we lift up our bodies. And then after that, we're going to take our bodies and we're going to bring the body up to our heads. So now the idea is that we're bringing up the body. Instead of going from the vav down to the hay, now it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be the hay going to the vav. Because you're zovking a rosh. Now when you lift up the rosh, tzarich l'chavin, the schof hay the gabi yud. Then you have to take the hay and you have to bring it up towards the yud. That's the idea. Yud K Vav K in a ladder. Look at it as one on top of the next. So you're starting at the bottom and you're bringing the hay to the vav, and then after that you're going to have another zakifa. Where as you lift up your head, this is going to bringing the vav to the upper hay. Kamo b'chrius b'chrius also kodem kriyas aguf, b'achar kach b'chrius kriyas aguf, v'achar kach kriyas harosh. So just like what we had in bowing down, at first we did the body, then we did the head. Kamo came with zakifos. So you have the same thing with zakifos. After bowing down, then you start after you bring up the body. Tzarech l'zochov aguf, but the first the body. V'achar kach l'schuf the road. So we're going to stop right here. That's going to be the shir, and this is enough for us to learn and to get a little idea about how the Kabbalists actually come to begin the Shmona Esrei, the movements of the body, which has in mind back behind it the movement of the Vav to the K. Well, depending on where you're going. When you're going down on the word Baruch, you're going to be bringing the Vav to the K. Then after that, when the second time you're going to bring the upper K down onto the Vav. That it's actually the Yud K down onto the Vav. If you're going to make a combination like this, this is a concept of unity, of a binding, of making a yichud. This is what it's all about. So we had these different ideas. We'll go on with it more with God's help tomorrow.